another edition of Most Men. Hello, everybody. Remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. Come on, boys, girls. We need some comments. We need to start having some fun between all of us. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com info. Themostmen.com is the website. Info at themostmen.com is the email. We will soon be on Rumble as well, and then there's a few other platforms that we're going to be hitting on. Okay, let's get into it. How are we?
All right. Got me a cold beer here, so I'm feeling where I need to be.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
Well-deserved beer.
Yeah, the weather's getting nice here in Texas.
So you got your jar of pickles out.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm gonna on the last not the last podcast, but a podcast or two ago, I announced that I will be doing pickle reviews. I'm a pickle fiend. I am a salsa fiend. And I'm a barbecue fiend, but there's too much shit on the internet with barbecue. But the pickle game is a serious game, and so is the salsa game. And it's got to be done. It's got to be done properly. I mean, there's some people out there doing it, but I, Tickle My Pickle, will be taking it to the next level. And I'll have some reviews coming up for you soon. But I homemade these on Sunday. I've made 3 or 4 batches. I am on the quest to find. We're going to try one. If we try one, we're going to try them all. We're going on a tour around America to find the best pickle.
The perfect pickle.
Perfect pickle. And I want to learn. I make pickles, but I want to have my own pickle company and salsa company. So, I am going to show you what the rating would be like, what the review would be like, but I'm not going to rate these pickles. I'll tell you if they're good or not. I think they'll be good because I've made a couple of batches similar. Yeah.
How long do you really need pickles to sit around, or how long does it take to make a pickle?
Okay, well, so you can do ferment. You can either vinegar soak or fermentation, or like these are refrigerated pickles. Like these only need 48 hours.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, I made these on Sunday. But to do the fermentation process, it varies on the type of cucumber, but it's weeks.
Yeah, I was thinking it was months even. But
yeah, it's weeks, 6-8 weeks, couple months, but could go into 3 months, just depending on, that's those guys that, those companies that do those pickles in the barrel, would do a lot of 55-gallon barrel. It's just like sauerkraut. That's fermentation, and as long as they're under the liquid, whatever because you can do a salt brine, a vinegar combo, salt water brine, or just there's some the ferment you're getting into. Yeah,
all right.
That's the thing. That's why I want it, because it's different states, different parts of the countries, different ways. But these, let's check them out real quick. Yeah, all I did was just cut the cucumbers, put the. Did you hear that seal?
No, I didn't. But
well, it seals, because what you do is you put all your seasonings in here, then you slice up your cucumbers. Stick them in. And then this is a 50-50 vinegar water mix with a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar. And this is the first time I've done them this way. I did a few other
I hear the crunch.
That's a different kind of cucumber too. The other ones, That was just the weight to keep these under all the vinegar.
Oh, okay. The ballast.
This is a different. But it's still crunchy. This is a store bought, just HEB. I can already tell you they're gonna be good. Damn, that's what I was getting out of the.
Is that a official pickle stabber, or
No,
is that just a
that's what I was
screwdriver you ground down?
Well, this is just
All right, I'm loving it.
got a decent crunch, but it could definitely be crunchier. See this?
Yeah.
That's it could be better. It should be firmer than that. Which means these cucumbers weren't fresh when I bought them. They were hard when I bent them.
Yeah.
So, decent crunch.
Yeah, I didn't know how important the crunch was in a pickle.
It is. No, especially a spear. Especially a spear or a round, like a chip, like I just had.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want all them store-bought pickles where you pick it up and it hangs like a limp dick. No. They're mush, they don't crunch, they don't. No, you want it's a decent crunch. But so how I'm going to do the system, okay? Just like figure skating. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that know Dave Portnoy that does the pizza reviews and all that. That's how he does it, but that's the proper way to. Because you can't give anything a 10, because what if. And if you're in the nines, you're in the elite of the elite of the elite. Like, nothing's going to go over a 9.5, but here's the thing. That 9.0 and 9.5. A 9.5 is like getting 100. Okay? But that's round numbers or rookie scores. You don't give 9.0s or 8.0s or 7.0s or 6.0s. It's either 6.1234, 6.678, 9. Okay? Because you're getting it. You want to, that's the only way to keep it honest. Because there's so much good shit out there. There's so much average stuff. So average is going to be, so example, store-bought pickles. And that's how I'm going to start the whole reviews on store-bought. What's the best hamburger chip? What's the best kosher? What's the best deal? What's the best baby deal? I can guarantee you that all those pickles will be in the 5s, maybe 6s. Maybe. 5, in anything 5. That's the baseline is store-bought pickles. They're mush, they're shit. They've been sitting in there for God knows how long. You know, they've got all sorts of preservatives and all sorts of stuff. That's the bottom of the rung. Okay? Then you've got if you're in the 6s, like if I was going to rate this one right now, these would probably be in the 6s. I'll eat them.
Because they're just fresh and...
I'll eat them, but this will probably be 6.23. It's good. Don't get me wrong.
And it's got to be cheap. I mean, how much is a freaking cucumber and some vinegar?
Oh, dude. I made all that shit you saw in the refrigerator. I made all that for less than $20.
Yeah, cucumbers are...
Well, no, probably 30, because I got baby carrots and cauliflower and onions and jalapenos. Fresh garlic.
Y'all grow your own garden with cucumbers. Grow like freaking weeds, man. You just got to keep them watered.
That's what I plan on doing. That's why I'm wanting to buy land. When I buy land, when I sell this place, that's what I want to do.
A buddy of mine, his wife grew some squash one time, and she's like, "Hey, you want some squash when it ripens?" And so I went over their house, and she gave me a couple of them. It was like 3 or 4 days later, I'm back over there, you want some more squash? I'm like, yeah. And she gives me like 30 of them. She's like, oh my God, these things are, we're never going to be able to get rid of all of these.
Well, but it's the freshness. That's what I'm saying. If those pickles were fresh, or if those cucumbers were fresh, because these have only been in here for not even a full week. I did them on Sunday evening, so
three full days, or
yeah, 4 full
we're
days.
on the 4th day now.
Yeah, they're good though. I mean, but a six is just meh. 7s, you're getting into okay. When you're in the 7s, this is a good pickle. Okay, or good. This is good. Like now we're getting in the range of.
Yeah, I might want these again.
Oh yeah, not just again, but I could do this on a regular basis again. You know what I mean? So. So if you're a mid 7, if you're a 7.4, 7.6, 7, like if you're getting this over a 7.5, you're getting into some elite shit. Okay, when you get in the 8s, you're talking top tier. I mean, it's quality, integrity. It's the craftsmanship. It's the like. When you're in the 8s, you're in the top league of your league. You're in the top league of the pickle game. Okay. Now, if you get into the 9s, it's epic shit. It's epic. It's like you got to fly somewhere to go try them. You don't order them online. No, you go fly and travel somewhere to go see them or taste them. 8s are a 3 to 4 hour drive, or you make a trip around it. If you're on a trip, you make sure you stop by and get you some. See, because once I start doing this, all these companies are going to start sending them to me. And they're going to send me their freshest batch. And see, that's how all these smaller batch companies are. Like how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to where my sales dictate my production. Cucumbers. So I want them to go from the vine to the jar, either to the jar, to the vat, or whatever. And then when they're ready, we already know that they're going to sell and they're going to be ready to be delivered. So it goes from farm to jar to table. And they were just taken out of the vat maybe 24 to 48 hours, and they're in a truck gone.
So is there like a pickle season? Like
cucumbers are just, it's hot. They like hot and humid, or just hot. Yeah, winter.
So like
winter,
all summer and fall, you can have pickles, but
spring and summer are cucumber season. But you can. That's when you go indoors. You do greenhouses. That's why you can do it all indoors. That's the whole point of
Yeah, because you don't want to have like no pickles and then God, I never want to see another pickle.
Or you source thousands of these. Or you source your wintertime harvest through somebody that's got a greenhouse operation.
All right. I'm sure California grows cucumbers year round.
Yeah, but they're probably gay cucumbers.
Well, Jesus. All right.
Or there's something's fucked up about them.
Yeah, I ain't going there to get them. They could ship them, but I ain't going there.
Yeah, no, you can get them out of Arizona. There's places.
Just got to have water.
Yeah. But there's places here. Hell, my realtor that is selling my house bought a friend of mine's property that built those hydroponic greenhouses. That's what I could buy them directly from him, because he's doing hydroponic cucumbers, and they sell them directly to like Whole Foods and Central Market and those type of places. Yeah, he's doing He's doing cucumbers. He's doing basil. He's doing a variety of vegetables, and that's what John intended for that thing. He was going to do hydroponic vegetables. They've got these new things to where you can put them in. If you're in a greenhouse, you can either put them in towers or they can float on a table. Okay, but they've got these towers that you put your little. It's a water bowl at the bottom. It goes up, and it's got these little tree arms.
I was going to say, like a fake Christmas tree.
Kind of, but it's all PVC, but it's got slots to where it's got a screen to where the dirt doesn't flow out, okay, or the potting soil. But each pod, as it grows up, has a hose that comes in to where all you got to do is add the nutrients to the water at the bottom. And then every time it needs to be fed, it just automatically shoots the water to the top of the tree and it hits every. Yeah. There's all sorts of ways of doing it. You can either do it outside or inside and under lights, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've had a garden in years past. It's been a long time.
That's more of an ass whipping than it would be to do all this other way.
Yeah, but the garden, man, all the deer and whatever animals, man, they'd
come here and rob you.
Oh, yeah, they molest it.
Yeah, so, what was I going to say on that? Oh.
Greenhouse.
No, what we used to do, gardens are good if you can keep all the riffraff out.
Oh, it takes just one night that, you can watch the thing like a hawk and over in one night, or over a weekend you come home and you're like, what the hell happened here?
My mom and stepdad, when they first moved to Aledo, they built a neighborhood that was heavily wooded, and it was a new neighborhood. There's still plenty of deer around, and they're like, y'all are fucking up our territory, right? Well, they went in and they did like $38,000 worth of landscaping. In their first week they were in their house, the deer, they walked out one morning and were like, they ate everything. Every flower, every whatever they put in, it was gone. I laughed my ass off because I told them that. I said, you don't need to be planting all this shit right now. You're right in the middle of them starting to.
Plant a bush. They don't eat bushes. You can't plant
goats
all
eat
this
bushes. Deer eat fucking. God, it was. Yeah, my stepdad's from Ohio. You have to deal with that shit. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I did real good with cherry tomatoes. They grew great, but if I tried to grow like a bigger tomato, before it ever got ripe, something stupid had happened to it, or who knows what. But them cherry tomatoes, man, I'd eat them things like candy. But I planted them in the same spot over and over, and over the years, it was like, yeah, these don't taste as good as they.
Do you still do it?
No, I hadn't had a garden in probably 15 years.
I was going to say. If you want to do it as a hobby again anywhere, that's what I used to do with all my fish carcasses, is give them to my mother for her tomato plants. You want to talk about the best tomatoes you've ever had in your life. You put the fish carcass, you either freeze them when it's time to plant your tomatoes, or you just dig around your tomato plant.
Yeah.
And you bury the fish carcass, and man, it makes the most rich soil. Or you put the carcasses in your compost. Yeah.
Well, out of my lake house, the crappie out there, we just throw them back. But I mean, you can keep them and eat them and all that, and we have in the past. But that'll be a reason maybe to catch me some crappie, have a fish fry, and bring the rest of them home. And
yeah. It doesn't. Here's
out there. I could throw a little pump in the lake and just pump the I ought to get a little cherry tomato garden going out there.
But what I'm saying, it's the guts, it's the fish, it's the all of that. When it decomposes, it makes the best soil. And you even throughout time. Now, again, I was bringing ice chests of fish carcasses. So they when they would till their soil, and whenever whatever time of the year they're tilling it,
Yeah.
they would incorporate all those, and they had a deep freezer dedicated to nothing but carcasses, and they would till that into their soil. We've been doing it for years. Like when I was a kid, I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that carried away with it, but I might throw a dead fish and, dig a 6-inch deep hole and throw some seeds on top of it.
Dude, I'm telling you, it'll be the best thing you've ever done for that plant.
That'll be my extent.
Even if you did a whole fish, you go just buy a whole fish you'll spend $20, $30 and buy you a whole whatever cheap ass.
I'll eat the crappie and then just whatever's left. Bones, heads, and guts and whatever.
But since I was a little bitty kid, my mom has always been a gardener. Always. We grew up. But the neighbor that we had, that's when they learned all of it, because he was a big fisherman. And you know what sand bass are, right?
Yeah.
So when you go catch a ton of those, they started incorporating, and it wasn't that he's the one that found out this idea. He read about it.
The Indians were doing it years ago.
Well, this guy was Indian. That was his background, Native American. So he either, I don't know how he found out, read about it, knew about it, family knew about it, whatever. But that's how it all started. They got into a competition, and he kicked everybody's ass. Shout out Tommy Moore. Yeah, he was a carpenter. He's one of the simplest guys I've ever met in my life. And I mean,
simple's good sometimes.
But he was a carpenter that could be. I mean, his work. He never could make any money because he took his time. He wouldn't.
He was too anal.
He was too good. He was good, man. He was a very devout Christian man. That's why he became a carpenter.
Yeah, that's good if you're building your own shit. But yeah, if you're out there trying to make money.
Well, he tried to build custom homes by Tom Moore, and he fucking lost his ass because everybody was like, "When's my house gonna be finished?" He's like, "These cabinets take a while."
I'm still sanding the fireplace.
Yeah.
Well, hire somebody out to do it. Oh, they won't do it right. I know all about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I ain't even going to give my buddy a shout out. He's like, "Don't talk about me on your podcast." I'm like, "I ain't going to talk about you." But yeah, my anal carpenter buddy, that
O'Neill?
Yeah, the guy we ain't giving the shout out to. So much for that.
Well, no, they don't want... You're safe. Your last name wasn't said. Sorry.
Yeah.
I fucked that up. That's my fault. Kick my ass. Don't kick his.
But yeah, everything he did took twice as long because it was done. If he was going to make a wedge to, stuff under something to make it, not, like putting a matchbook under a wobbly table, he'd whittle for an hour and a half on a piece of wood and make it absolutely perfect and shove it under the table when, a matchbook would have worked.
Or a folded piece of paper.
And a
napkin.
He'd have went and bought a table saw.
No, he fucking made his own saw.
He's too anal. I mean, it's just anal when it comes to the matters of the way wood works, Yeah,
I watch a guy on. I can't watch him because his videos are so fucking long. It's a guy in Canada that lives off. I don't know if he owns the land. I'm sure that he does own the land, but I think there's land up in Canada that's, if you build you a log cabin on it, it's yours. You can just live out there. I'm not 100%, but anyway, this guy, he lives totally off the grid, off nature. He gardens, he fishes, he hunts, grows all his own vegetables. He lives totally off grid. He has a YouTube channel, and he builds these log cabins. He'll build him a little hut to live in. This last one he built, he lived in his greenhouse till he built him a little hut. But his whole channel is about my self-reliance. And he does not use any power tools at all. He uses the old hand drills.
Yeah.
You know how they put that, I can't remember what that thing's called, where you sit down and you put your feet on it and you can lift something up and tuck something in and lock it down and then hold your feet and it holds it in place, and then you grab your big thing and you grind on the wood and your planers and all this shit. And I don't know what it's called, a whittling stool or whatever. But he doesn't even, his hammer is a piece of wood this big around, and he chiseled him or whittled him a handle, and that's his wood hammer. You know, he's got what is hammer?
It'd be a mallet, like a big.
It's
mallet.
It's a big wooden mallet, but it's all made out of wood, out of a tree that he cut down. But he cuts down all his own trees, mills it just like the mill that you saw the other day. He does all that, builds his own 2x4s, but his whole channel is geared around, because it's taken him on this last cabin, probably a year and a half. And he builds them all by hand. He doesn't have a skill saw. He's got the. He'll use the mill. And I think he uses a chainsaw to cut, the big logs. But he builds his whole log cabin and his whole place by hand, and all the accessories and all the other. Pretty fucking cool. I think he makes a lot of money doing it too. But he was a corporate guy that just said, fuck it. Done.
If you're off the grid, what do you need money for?
Well, he's making money off his YouTube channel. That's where he's making his money.
Yeah, but you live in the middle of nowhere off the grid. You don't need money.
But he doesn't even talk in his videos. He'll talk after he's done, and he'll just kind of go over. But it's just him and his golden retriever, and he throws the toy for the golden retriever, and that's all he does is video himself building his off-grid log cabins. His last one, he had a cabin, sauna, outdoor kitchen, a place for all his firewood. He cooks on a wood stove. There is no he does have a solar panel to run.
I would assume so. I figured that.
But it's a small one. It's a small mobile little
for the cameras and whatever.
Yeah, but wood burning stove. He's got a deep freeze that is underground because the ground's always cold enough to keep food cold. He cans all of his own vegetables, pickle stuff, and all that, and that's how he lives. His daughter's starting her own channel right now. She's 20, 21, doing the same thing. She's a little bit more sophisticated, but she's still doing the same kind of.
Like the Unabomber used to watch his channel. Oh, the Unabomber living up there, and where the hell he was at, Montana or something.
Yeah.
He was living in some
hut
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I watched that.
He'd have got away with it. You know how he got busted?
I can't remember. I watched the special, but it's been a long time.
His brother read the manifesto, and his brother said, man, this is the same shit my brother was spewing for years, man. So he turned the FBI on. He said, I think he struck some kind of deal, like you ain't just going to go up there and shoot him. And, I'm going to get the reward money, but I'm going to use it for his, defense fund. And yeah, because his brother didn't just rat him out and say, whatever. His brother really tried to help him, but his brother, because hell, he was probably up there going to blow somebody else up,
Yeah, and then there was the other. What was that one where that guy built that? He had a welding shop, and he bought some big fucking bulldozer and welded this huge fucking crazy cage around it and went and bulldozed the whole town. Do you remember that?
No, hell, I'd remember this.
Oh God.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you.
Like old Elliot Ness putting a snowplow on the front of a truck and blowing in the breweries back in the day.
It was kind of that.
No, I don't remember this.
No, you'll remember it once you.
Now I remember a guy stole a tank and he was driving around California crushing cars and that.
No, this guy. Dozer.
I wonder if this guy was a most man.
No, actually, he was a very successful guy. But what happened? And speaking of concrete, no, he snapped over these concrete guys that had a concrete plant, and they ran the whole town. The whole family ran this whole small town that he moved into, and he had a muffler shop. And Dozer guy that went crazy.
Probably about 500 things pop up.
Dozer guy that.
So he got pissed enough to just go
Yes.
lay waste to the whole place. So he built some cage so like they couldn't shoot at him or anything?
Yeah, no, there was nobody stopping him. And this thing was fucking huge, dude.
You put a pillbox on it and fill it up all the way with fuel so you can just keep going.
Yeah, here it is. Marvin John Hemer. Granby, Colorado.
And what year was this?
2004.
Okay, 20 years. No,
he took here. Watch this video real quick.
Yeah, I don't remember this guy.
Yeah, they pissed him off and he was trying to get. What they were doing is they were fucking him out of his land. They were trying to fuck him out of his land because.
Oh, like do a eminent domain thing or something?
Yeah, because the family was they ran the politics. They were the richest family in town. This is a small little family. And he felt like they were picking on him.
Man, this guy's serious.
Fuck yeah, dude! He built that whole cage. Look at that fucking steel structure around that thing that he built. They were throwing grenades inside some of the air conditioners to try to, and he had protection under that where the grenades were blowing back up in the people's face or the cop's face.
Man, can you imagine being a cop out there just going, what am I supposed to do about
this?
Yeah,
they're all chasing him, fucking shooting at him, going, there. We ain't getting through this. He ended up committing suicide. Because his dozer finally broke down.
That's a pretty good-sized town, too. There's a lot of...
It's a small town, but yeah, it's...
But, I mean, there's a lot of downtown structures and buildings in a row, and I like the way he's just kind of clipping the side of each little bit. You know, he got a piece of meat everywhere he went.
Yeah.
So, man, this guy's just... Oh, and he even had weapons to shoot back.
Yeah.
He had TVs and... Oh, my God, man. Hey, you folks out there. Got to check this out. This is about as crazy as it gets. I mean, it looks like a tornado went through this town. They're just showing crushed cars and... Yeah, I can't wait to show my kids this. They're always showing me great, crazy crap. So it's nice to come over the top with some great, crazy crap. I like the 9/11 operator. We know. I mean, everybody and their brothers calling up saying this guy's out of control. Oh, yeah, I'm right at the end here. I got to ride it out since we're all the way down through here. I mean, that thing looks like a tank. It's a bulldozer, but...
It's one of the largest bulldozers that you can buy.
I wonder if he rented it from some local town. You know, that'd be... Not only am I going to screw your town up, I'm going to rent a bulldozer. Yeah, so then he put some tractor down there to stop him. He just shoves that out of the way. He didn't have a prayer against this thing. Man. Yeah. I'm just blown away by this.
There's a documentary on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah, he obviously put a lot of time and effort. And
it tells the whole story.
Cutting tour should get him out of there.
Yeah, so it's
Yep. Be careful who you piss off. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to it. But it's Granby, Colorado. But it's Marvin John Heemeyer.
All crazy things go back to concrete one way or another.
God almighty.
I wonder how many people have been tempted to do that and they just didn't.
Here's a picture of it real quick. Just look at this. No, dude, he took some serious time to think this through.
Yeah, I mean, that's like got Mad Max written all over it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there were layers and layers and layers of steel underneath that.
I think they said it was 2-inch steel or something.
Yeah.
Good God. Yep, that's Mad Max territory right there.
Yeah, it's crazy shit. People are fucking nuts, man. That's why no more road rage for me. I don't want to come across one of them guys that are just ready to fucking snap.
Heck, yesterday I seen a video of a guy I know. I won't say his name, but Wes showed me. He pulls up. This guy pulls up. They're talking, and the guy keeps leaning forward, and boom! The guy we know just cold cocks this guy and gets him on the ground and just starts wailing on him. And yeah, it was some road rage incident that this guy followed our buddy, and I guess he wanted to shoot his mouth off more than he wanted to defend himself.
Yeah.
And he wasn't ready for what was about to happen.
And most of the time, that's how it is.
Yeah, you confront somebody, you better be ready for anything.
But here's the thing, though, is that what's crazy is with how popular mixed martial arts is today. And it's been going on for 20 years, man. The growth of the MMA community. There's more people that know how. I mean, there's more people out there than ever that know how to fuck you up.
Even if they just dabble in it, they got a move or two, and that's their go-to move, and you don't know what their go-to move is, and that's the one they're going to whip out on you first rattle out of the box.
Yeah, I mean, because I used to take. I was in martial arts as a kid, and I remember there was a bully that lived, and I was actually scared of this guy. I don't know if I should.
Well, my sons, when they go to parties, not my oldest so much, but my younger son there, man, he'll come home, man, he's got road rash on his elbows, and man, they go to a house party. He's like 25. They move all the furniture out, and man, they go after it until somebody taps out of that. I mean, they whip the living shit out of each other. And,
no, it's
and they love it.
They love it.
They love
it, dude.
It's
that's what I'm trying to say, man. It's the adrenaline rush from fucking hell. That's why MMA and the UFC is just on a fucking rocket ride to whatever planet they stop at. I don't know. They just took over WWE, the wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes, so UFC, okay, so you got UFC, which is owned by Endeavor, which is a conglomerate of, you got like Sylvester Stallone, Mark Wahlberg. I mean, there's like all those big guys that have got a lot of money. There's a big, huge group of people that put all this money together to create Endeavor, which bought the UFC for $4.2 billion or something like that.
Good grief.
And do you know how much the Fertittas put into that company when they bought it?
No.
$2 million. And then they invested another $40 million in building it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they spent a bunch.
40 to 50 to 60, 70, somewhere in there. You know what I mean? But they bought the UFC for $2 million. But at their one point, they had already spent like $40 million, and they were like, "Look, I don't know if we're I don't know if we're ready to keep going on this deal. You know, we're wasting our family's money. And they kept going. And then it just it went from this to level to that. And then when Endeavor got it, and then when COVID happened, it just, because they were the only sport that didn't stop. But here's the thing. That's what makes the UFC so big. Is because it's not just the United States. It's worldwide. Martial arts and combat sports are worldwide.
Well, that's like when the Olympics back in the old days, I say old days, Greek days or whatever, that's what the Olympics should have been about. You know, you got two guys, whoever kicks the other guy's ass wins, you know. You got a giant rock, whoever throws it further, you win. You got a spear, whoever throws it farther. We're both going to run, whoever beats. As soon as you start putting, you know, judges and, you know, figure skating, and it screws it up. So I always say I don't care what the rules are. I just want to know what the rules are. But I would prefer the Olympics to just be, I can lift this and you can, I win. But that's where like the UFC intrigues me. I know there's kind of a referee, but he's more there just to keep somebody from killing each other.
But there's three judges.
Yeah, but it seems like in the UFC thing, you don't really have, like in boxing, there's always, you know, more of a, it's rare to watch somebody whip somebody's ass in boxing. I take that back. You can have UFC, if you whip some guy's ass, it's pretty obvious you whipped their ass. In boxing, I've actually seen it where it's like, did these judges watch the same fucking fight I did? I mean, that's
the whole thing about boxing, is it's so corrupt. That's why that's why the UFC is killing boxing.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And I guarantee you that there's a play, because they started a company kind of probably 4, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Well, it's older than that. But the UFC has dabbled in taking over boxing, or being the major, because boxing is a going out of business sale event every time. That's why the boxers make so much money. It's just a money grab. It's not a fucking and I honestly think that's probably the move that Endeavor is doing. They're going to take over. You got UFC, got WWE. Guarantee you they're going to fucking take over boxing too. And they started this slap league. We talked about this on the last.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have got into this whole slap league.
Well, the boxing used to be.
Have you watched that yet?
Yeah, I can't.
It's fucking cringy as a motherfucker, man.
Yeah. But like the boxing, when I was a kid, it was like the heavyweight championship was going to be on, and it was on like Wide World of Sports on Saturday night at, 8:00, and, Ali against Frazier or I don't know, what. There was 4 or 5 guys that traded whipping each other's ass, Frazier and, the grill guy, George Foreman. But yeah, I mean, you would stop down and watch this. There wasn't no pay-per-view or any of that going on. But then they had like the WBC and then the WB, then they started another parallel. Yeah. So then they could have
multiple champions.
Yeah, and then it was like the undisputed it was just a way to, and then magically, if there was like the big fight, somebody wins, and then naturally they have a rematch. And 100% of the time, the other guy wins, which means, now you got to have the rubber match of the rematch. Nobody ever won 2 in a row, as I say never, maybe Ali did or something. But it was, it was like you could bet that the second fight, the other guy was going to win.
Well, the second and the third fight were already planned.
Yeah, it was, as a kid, I didn't really understand the corruptness of what goes on and how it worked. But some people will scream, no way, it was all how it was supposed to be. But
I could give a fuck less what happens in boxing. unless somebody else gets it clean.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
'Cause
That
it's so corrupt.
that it used to be the only game in town, and now it's not.
No, it's not. UFC is taking, but what my whole point is that you never know who you're messing. That whole what you're talking about, the guy that punched the guy in the face and all that. Excuse me. You never know who you're fucking with, man.
Well, and this guy I'm talking about that threw that punch, he's in his 60s, you know. So somebody probably, hell, this old man ain't got shit. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
He freaking nailed him.
Yeah.
I'll get that link for. I mean, it was from some security camera. They got this, but I'll figure out a way to send you that link because I'll get it from Wes.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, what I was telling her is, I had this bully across the street. Like you said, somebody's got their one move, or they've know enough to do a couple of moves.
Yeah.
This bully that lived across the street, but I knew him before then too, and he was one of these guys that just fucking started shit with everybody just to be a fucking asshole.
He was that guy.
Everybody hated him. But he was one of those guys that he could kick a little ass. And he was more for just entertainment. There he is, starting some more shit. He's either going to win or he's going to lose. You know, and he fucking started fucking with me one night, and I was like, dude, fuck you, man. I ain't afraid of you. I've seen you almost get beat a couple of times. And he fucking, the worst thing that you can do is start coming charging at somebody. He started running at me. He thought he was going to tackle me and throw me on the ground. And as soon as he got to me, I dipped low, grabbed his arm, flipped him over, and threw him flat on his fucking back. And half of his back hit the curb and the other half hit the street. And I was like, yeah. This is the guy that I was working for when I was a kid. I was probably 14 or 15. I wasn't that old yet. But he was thinking the same thing. He's like, man, because it was it was Rob's house and then their house and then my house was across the street, and he was like, man, these people are such fucking assholes over here. I was like, I know. He's like, I wish somebody would whoop his ass one day, and I fucked him up. I didn't even have to hit him, and I fucked him up. One move. I knew exactly what to do with his momentum. He came fucking sprinting at me, and I was like, you dumb motherfucker. Dip low, grabbed his wrist, and just, whoa. His own momentum, I didn't even have to lift a muscle. His own momentum did all the fucking damage. I didn't do nothing. I just knew what to do with him.
When I was a kid, I was about 14. Me and all my buddies were in this, we call it the Greek shop. It was, I'm sure they played backgammon in the back for like a lot of money. But in the front, they had a pool table and a one pinball machine. And we'd play the shit out of that pinball machine. And we could get free games galore, but these dudes didn't care. They just wanted to cover us kids shooting pool and playing pinball. And so, of course, the neighborhood bullies come and go and all of that. And this one kid was in there, and I didn't know this guy. And he was being messed with by this one guy who we did know, who was, a jerk, the regular jerk. And I hate to say it, but we were more or less glad he's fucking with that guy, not fucking with us, because he was capable of fucking with us. Anyway, this one kid that he was messing with just took his pool stick, man, and all the guy could do was put his arm up, man, and it broke his frickin' arm. You could just see his arm just all fucking gankered and like he had an extra elbow, and I was like, oh, God, man. So the bully dude turns into instant pussy, oh, my arm, and it's like There wasn't a soul had any sympathy whatsoever for this dude. You know,
Hell no.
he broke it. Yeah, that dude broke that stick over his frickin' arm, and he ran out. He just hauled ass, and you know,
Went to mommy.
yeah, he just got the hell out of there. And
Yeah,
they're
mommy,
like,
mommy.
I don't know, I'd have got the hell out of there too. You know, you always hear fight or flight. Hell, he did a combo. He fought and then flight. You know, hey, why not do a hybrid? You want to compromise? There you go, fight then flight.
Yeah.
But, yep, be careful because you never know who's just going to whomp you, shoot you, you know.
And they'll do it in a heartbeat.
And what if you hit him in the head? You know, you get brain damage and all that. Your life changes irreparably, you know,
I keep talking.
from now on.
They're probably trying to move that smoke.
Yeah, there's activity out there. He's sold a smoker.
Yeah, so that brings me into this exact perfect segue into the. So I'm dating this chick. Okay? And I'm just having to watch what's going on out there. Main thing is they need to fucking pay me before they leave.
That sounds pretty important.
Yeah. So, I think he's an all right guy. He'll be all right. I'm a trusting fella until I'm not supposed to be trusted or not allowing any trust to come out of me. So I'm dating this chick. Or just I'm starting to date her. Okay? We go out a couple of times. This is when Top Gun Maverick just came out, and we instantly were like, cool, right? I mean, well, it wasn't that I was so much cool with her; she was like cool with me, and I don't want to get into what happened, but she liked me, okay. And we went out 3 or 4 or 5 times, and I was like, look. If you're thinking that at this age that you're playing the 16 to 21-year-old game, and I got to take you out 50 fucking times, you know, I'm not saying that I didn't score. I scored. But what I'm getting at, it was just like, look, I'll go to the movies with you, but I'm not taking you. I don't know you enough. I don't want to know you enough. I mean, I just want to know you enough to hang out with. If you want to hang out, we can hang out. If not, then just you need to keep on. If you're looking for Mr. I'm not looking for Mr. Woman, and you're not. I can already tell you're not my caliber of woman. Okay, so. If you want to hang out, cool. If not, I'm not your guy. So we go out to dinner. And of course, she's always late. 15, 20 minutes late. I'm just like, fuck. Have some fucking respect. I'm buying dinner. If you want to go Dutch, then you can show up late. But don't fucking expect me to buy a fucking dinner if you're going to show up late. So I told her, I was like, well, while I was waiting on you, I was talking to these young ladies over here because it was a girl and her sister. Her sister had just had a baby, and you could tell they were just doing, oh my God, new baby, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, look, and she was like, well, I'm fine with that. If you want to talk to other women and get their phone, I'm not holding you down at all. And I was like, well, okay, cool, because I'm not going to be held down. And number 2, I'll talk to anybody I want to talk to because you're fucking late. And 3, you're about to ruin the one movie that I wanted to see after. And it wasn't that I watched Top Gun with her 10 times, but I did. I went 10 times in a row to watch Top Gun Maverick. And so we're seeing Elvis. So we get up to Elvis. And there's these 2 hot 30-year-old chicks sitting right next to. I had her on the edge, then me, but they were empty when I bought them. But they took these 2 seats. So we sat down, and these 2 young girls start hitting on me or talking to me, this, that, and the other. And she had just told me, I don't care if you talk to anybody or this, that, blah, 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 blah. I hope you got her phone number. You should have got her phone number. Hit it if you can hit it. Whatever. I'm not that kind of guy, but whatever. But these girls were drunk. And it was fun banter back and forth. Excuse me. So she pulled the move of, she was like, all lovey-dovey on me and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, she just like floated to the other side of her chair, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I even asked her. I was like, I can't help that these girls are drunk. Not my problem. I can't. What do you want me to do? Tell them to shut up? And even there was another guy that was down the seats that came over, and he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to them. He's like, could you 2 just shut up so we could enjoy the fucking movie? And sir, I'm sorry that you have to sit next to that. And I was like, fuck, trust me. I've just been trying to be nice about it. Right in my head, that's what I'm thinking. And so the movie ends. And she just jumps up from her chair and takes off. And I'm like, well, shit, I guess she just left.
All right.
And I was like, well, and those 2, well, did she just leave you? And I was like, well, fuck, I don't know. And if she did, I don't give a fuck. God, it is what it is. We're downtown Fort Worth. She needs an Uber. And because her car was back at the restaurant. So they were like, look, if you don't have anywhere to go afterwards, you can come with us. And I was like, well, I'm not, whatever. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Let's see if she's at the bottom of the elevator. So I go down there. And again, this is a girl that I've just taken out on a couple of dates. It's not like it's serious, okay? And I get down the elevator and I look to the left and she's standing there. And I walked up to her and I was like, man, what the fuck was that? And she pulled this fucking attitude on me, like, what were her exact words? But basically what she said, she was like, well, I didn't like what happened in the movie, and if you don't like that, we can just end it right here. And I was like, okay, bye. I just left her fucking standing there. It was like,
she thought she was bluffing. You called her bluff right quick.
Yeah, no, and I even pulled out of my pocket. I pulled $100 bill and I said, here's enough money for an Uber. And she wouldn't take it, so I just threw it on the ground and I was like, all right, bye. What the fuck do you want me to do? You're not my wife. You just told me we could end it right here. Well, I just did.
I call it letting go of the rope. If, somebody's pulling and you're pulling, you just let go of the rope. Give them what they want.
And then she proceeded to call me for 2 or 3 weeks. I can't believe you left me. I was like, you're the one that fucking asked for it. What?
She was bluffing and got called. You called the bluff.
Yeah, and I took off walking. And I went and had a couple of drinks with those other girls and went home and nothing happened. It was just like, what the fuck?
Yep.
They're throwing some things around there. So, anyway.
Might be getting more than the smoker.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I'm not even going to tell the story about the other one that we were talking about. Let's just talk about something else. It's too long of a story. I want to get my money.
Yeah, we probably ought to wind this one down fairly quick. But
Well, how long have we been on?
oh,
Talk a little bit, and I'll see how long we've been on.
yeah. Well, go talk to them guys. I'll talk about the most man. They're pickles, or not compromising anymore. I've compromised enough. This is why we don't have real jobs, because if we said 1/10 of what we said here, we'd all be fired. So there's some advice for you folks out there. Get a job that nobody can take away from you. You know, if you bring a service to somebody, you know how to fix something, you know how to work on something, you know, then you got a little more control of your situation, because if you're working for somebody, right, wrong, or indifferent, they got control over your next paycheck or your next boss or your next promotion or your next whatever. You know what? Being self-employed, people think, oh man, I'd love to be self-employed. So what? So you can sit at home and do nothing? That's called unemployed. That's not called self-employed. I've had to get up and do so much shit I didn't want to do because I'm responsible, and you know, you want to get the next paycheck, not paycheck, but just the next check out of some customer, and you want them to call you back. You can't treat your customers like shit, because you're like, nice knowing you. So, but being self-employed is a beautiful thing, but
It's the best thing ever if you can do it.
but it's a lot of work.
A lot of work. It's worth it though. It
is worth it.
The hard work is worth the payout.
It'd be like building your own house. Who the hell wants to build their own house? And when you're in the middle of building your own house, and when I say build your own house, I don't mean hire somebody to build your house. I mean get in the middle of it and build your own house. Because when you're halfway through it and the budget's going through the moon and you're freezing your ass off or baking your ass off, and this is broke and that's broke and the wood's warped and you got to make decisions on the fly and you got to compromise and you got to figure all of this out and you got to get the damn thing across the finish line. But when you're done, it's just the most beautiful feeling. But
yep, the reward is so much better.
Yeah.
Fucking,
I mean,
they ain't fucking close to getting that smoker on that. They brought him a hell of a trailer. I'll give them that.
They got enough people?
Oh yeah, no, they're big boys.
All right.
They're big boys. They're looking to fucking pack some meat in that thing. Well, they got the right fucking smoker to do it. I can guarantee you that.
Well, I'm going to take a restroom break. Why don't you take over the most man speech? All about your swag and what to do and how to find us, and let them.
I can't tell how long we've been on. How long have we...
Well, he said he'd be here in an hour when you hung up the phone with him. So
yeah, but we pissed around for a little bit too.
Yeah.
Well, go take your piss break.
Piss break.
This is what happens when you get old.
Yeah, young people don't piss.
Nah. All right, yeah, guys. So look, yeah. So here's the thing: we got a lot of promotional products coming up, swag and the man kit and all that, and that'll be available on the website themostmen.com. But what we really need, please. Here's the thing. This is a grind that's gonna take a little while. I understand. You know, because I've got to find my rhythm. I've got to find the rhythm of what the company's about. And I know what the long-term vision of the company is, but this podcast is something that's just meant to be fun, and we want to build it into the men's club and all that kind of stuff. But this is just something that's meant to be fun, to where we can come in and do whatever the hell we want to do, talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. And it's, it is what it is. You want to listen to it or you don't. But the back end of the company and everything that we're building, or what I'm building, or the team, the company, the whatever, however you want to call it, we're refining all those products, and I don't want to present something to you that is not worthy of being presented or misrepresented or just fake or any bullshit. People don't want to be bullshitted these days. People just want the real deal. And I am the real deal, and we are the real deal, and the company is the real deal. But this podcast is just meant to be fun. But the thing is that where it's going to get really fun is whenever we can, and after I sell my house, okay, because we're at my house right now. It's a cool little studio. It's not bad. But what I want to do with it is take it to the next level and build a real fucking studio and a production house. And a production house to where I have my own videographers, my own editors, my own all of that. Okay. And then provide other areas to where other content creators can come in and use the space. We build their content for them. We manage and do all that stuff. But the men's club is something that it keeps evolving. Okay. I've talked to so many doctors. I've talked to so many specialists. I've talked to so many attorneys, bankers, just people out there that all of you, when I'm saying, there's a lot of you that don't need any of this. Okay. But there's a lot of people out there that do. That they need to know an avenue to where they can get stuff done a lot easier than just tripping over themselves and finding out things the hard way. And I know all of us older guys, Tim, all your guys, we've all been through the ringer. We know what it's like to be through the ringer. We learned the hard way, but our way was the hard way because technology is not what technology is today. If we would have had technology in our prime, in your prime, in my prime, if we had the technology that we have today, could you imagine what the outcome of our life and business would be today? It'd be night and day. It's night and day.
I remember when I got my first pager. I was working at the major hospital, and we all got pagers.
Yeah, you told this story.
But that was the beginning of it. Mm-hmm. And it's just hard to imagine now. I mean, you don't just have a cell phone. You got, Google, you got, talking about some nut with a, hey, you remember that story about that guy with the bulldozer that went crazy in that town? No, I don't. Well, here, let me show you. And then, what was it? It'd take 5 seconds, and I'm watching some guy driving through buildings on a bulldozer. I mean, when I was a kid, it was, but maybe that's where storytelling, like older folks, you knew who was a good storyteller. You knew who was a good joke teller. Now, the social media and the technology and the connectivity to everything, it dumbs it down in some ways, but you got way more volume, but you don't necessarily have it's just harder. It's harder to
the value.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the value for when we grew up, finding out something, the value is so much better.
Beautiful. That was what I was after.
Yeah, the value. Because it meant something. Now it's just like, oh, okay, fuck, that happened.
I seen that. No matter what you find, somebody already, I've seen that. Yeah, it's got 8 million hits and it's been out 3 days,
Okay, I'll tell you a perfect example of that. I started watching and here's I'm not a Netflix guy, but I am a guy that I'm doing a deep dive on all this because basically what I was saying while Tim was gone of how the company is going to evolve of me building a production house and an avenue for other influencers and content creators and all that stuff to come in. That's the long term, but the main goal of Most Man, okay, and I've had this idea shelled for years. This company is about building better men. And this podcast is the men's club. And as we grow, and here's the thing, I was talking to all my guys that are handling the back end of all this stuff right now until I get my own. It's the biggest YouTuber on the planet right now is Mr. Beast. Okay. Yeah, we came out of the gate strong. Okay. Stronger than most channels normally do, but we've dipped down. But here's the thing: it takes 100 of these to really start. That's when YouTube and all the analytics and all that kind of shit, like we have to skim the bottom for a little while. Okay, that's just the way it is. It's just any other business. It doesn't matter what you're in. But Mr. Beast he's 20. The guy's only like 23 or 24 years old, and he's been offered like I think $20 billion for his channel. $20 billion. He's one of the biggest. But he takes all his money and invests it back in his production. Okay, but here's my point though. Is coming from him is he's kind of doing a tour because he's giving back to even though I'm a 45-year-old man and I got a 23-year-old man telling me how to fucking make it on YouTube. Okay? He's like, look, don't fucking ask any questions or fucking question anything until you've done 100 videos. You got to do 100 before you have any metric to base what you're doing on. But within that 100 videos gives you your practice to refine your product between 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, in increments. All of a sudden, your quality keeps going up. This is number
15, maybe.
14 or 15. We're at the beginning. We're pups. We're pups, and I know I'm a pup, and I'm okay with being a pup. It's just like that family that I told you about, Selling Zatara.
Yeah.
Okay? Shout out Selling Zatara. Okay? I watched a video because his kids are grown up, and they're starting their own YouTube channels and all that stuff now. But that family built their backlog to where their channels are going to be easier successful than the last ones, or starting from scratch like his parents did, right? So, but that's what he said. He's like, look, you could do this for 2 years, and after 2 years, you've got a totally different audience. Totally different audience of what you planned on before. Same thing. You have to refine. It's not everybody's going to like it. And that's okay. That's okay. And you can't take it personal. So, but the whole point is that this channel, or this Most Man, it's about building better men. But this podcast is a place where we just let it all go. And we talk about things that any other man or any other woman going through anything would want to talk about. Or if not, sorry. If the topic wasn't cool for you, I'm sorry. But everybody that I've talked to thinks it's pretty cool and pretty funny. But this is the long format. We've got to build the short format to make long format build as time comes. Okay, so that's what the podcast is. We're here to.
Well, I just knew Mark's had this idea. We've laughed about it. He's telling me stories. Obviously, we've heard some of them here. And when he asked me to get involved with this, if I would get involved with it, I jumped at it because, hey, I know the guy's successful in what he does. You know, like part of this whole story is he took it in the teeth and had to regroup. And if anybody could drag himself out of the ashes, it's going to be Mark. And he's like, man, Tim, this is the way it's going to go. You know, the wave of the future. You know, nobody watches the news anymore. People don't listen to talk radio anymore, which I listen to talk radio, and I'm bored shitless with it because I drive around in a truck all day, well, a lot of days. Like, yeah, why am I listening to this crap? So now I listen to podcasts when I'm driving around, which I never did before until this. So this has already changed my life. And what have we been doing it for 2 months? So I'm excited about, you know, where it's going to go and how it's going to get there. But I'm just definitely along for the ride to watch the Mark brain, you know, churn this up. Like a couple weeks ago when he announced, you know, hey, he's going to buy a bus and, you know, have the Most Man live events. It's like, you don't think I don't want to be part of that? You got to be crazy. Hell, I'd go to it if I just didn't even know the guy.
Dude, it's going to get so fun around here. As soon as I sell,
it's already fun, but
for everybody else.
But me and you are the only ones in on the inside part of the fun. It's going to be more fun when it's like a party.
Yeah.
You can have a great party with a couple, 3 or 4 buddies. Hey, you get a house full of people now. You know, now you got the pools going on. You know, the patios going on. You know, let's get this party with some momentum.
We're going to do it. I promise. And I keep talking about selling my house. You got to understand. And a lot of you out there are not going to understand it. But when you lose a lot of money in a big company that I did, there's ways that you have to track your money. Okay. I'm not broke, but I lost a lot of money. And when you file bankruptcy and all that, you have to go through these certain motions to where you just kind of gotta be broke for a little while. They can't touch your money in your trust, and they can't touch the equity in your house. And that's where I had a lot of my money parked. So, what I'm getting at is as soon as I sell this house, get ready for the rocket launch. What we're doing right now is fun. No, it's fun. And it's great. I love it. I can't wait for every Thursday. Because me and Tim, we'll do 1, 2, or 3 of these things. And it's so fucking fun. So fun. But if we can get y'all on board to where you're involved with every single one of these, that's when it's going to get bananas. That's what I can't wait for.
Yeah, because you and I, you know, we banter, and it's fun. But to get the third guy in,
yeah,
you know,
get the guy the third time to be like, look, you ain't got your left nut kicked yet. Here's the left nut kick. Boom.
Yeah. What about this? Well, hell, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. And now
we didn't think about that.
Well, no, put you on the big screen. Put you on the screen to where you're involved with the whole video production and all that kind of stuff, but you're and all I have to do is daisy chain one more of those and we can have up to 6 people. Or actually, no, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4. Yeah, 6.
Yeah. Well,
that could get fucking crazy. And that can be on the screen. It can be, everything's live. You can be sitting in front of your computer. You can be on your phone. It doesn't matter. No matter where you are. So let's work our way there, boys. I just appreciate everybody that has watched it, messes with it, likes it, thinks it's fun, funny.
If you know how to improve it, send a comment.
Please. Please. That's how we grow.
I think we're up to 46 subscribers, and we need 50 for the magic number. You know, and we could go out and make 4 people subscribe. That's cheesy.
But no, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. I want to have one of these every day, with different guests. But it's the by God, why did I lose my fucking train of thought now? Yeah, if we can get to 50. Here's the thing. No, what I was going to say is that the shorts that we're doing, you know how many, have you looked at how many views those have done?
Yeah, not for about a week or something. 1,700 on one of them, and
that's a lot. 1.8 on the other one.
Yeah.
1.3 on another one. But now I'm gonna let these guys in California handle it. But I don't know if they're gonna handle it as good as Zach did. Shout out Zach. Reach Creative Media. I don't know if they're gonna do it good. We'll see.
Well, I'm looking forward to
But all I know is when I sell this house, I've got access to a lot of money. And I'm going to light this motherfucker on fire is what's going to happen. Yeah. It's on tour, the bus. We're going to build this thing, and whoever wants to be along for the ride, let's go. But what I'm saying, though, is for anybody out there that's watching it, okay, yes, we came out of the gate, a lot of views, then they kind of dipped, and they're coming back up. But here's the thing. Until we have 100 episodes, there's no earmark for where we stand. There's not. That's the industry standard. Once you get to 100 episodes, that's where you know. But along the way, you either make the changes along the way, but at that point is where you look back and go, man, we're fucking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or we hit a fork in the road and we took the wrong left back at number 60.
Well, no, we're going to do that at
we're
going to do that at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. No, we're going to perfect this thing. We will perfect this thing because I believe in nothing but perfection. So, all right. This one was just a loosey-goosey. Yeah. So, thanks for hearing me out, hearing Tim out, and I'm going to let Tim say whatever he wants to say, and then I'll take us out.
Get your gardens going. Get your tomatoes going. Put a fish underneath them. Grow some cucumbers. You know, you never know when you might need them. So be prepared for anything and everything because there's a wild world we live in.
Yep. And get ready for Tickle My Pickle. And I haven't came up with a name with the Salsa channel yet, but get ready for Tickle My Pickle because we're going to be there. Okay, so like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. Please. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com is the website. info@themostmen.com is the email. We hope everybody has a good evening tonight. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night.